Hello and welcome back. In this video, we are going to learn about operators and expressions in Java. First, let us understand what is an operator. As the name suggests, an operator is a special symbol which is used to perform some operation on variables and values. For example, we can use plus as an addition operator to add to values. Let us understand it with the help of an example in Eclipse IDE. Let us create two integer variables as int num1 and let's assign value 10 to it. Let's create another integer variable int num2 and assign 22. Now if we want to add these two values, we have to write the code statement as num1 plus num2 ended with semicolon. So what is plus over here? Plus is an operator. And what are num1 and num2? So num1 and num2 are called operands. Now you might be thinking, what is an operand? So let's discuss that. An operand is a value or a variable on which the operation has to be performed. For example, in our code, num1 and num2 are operands and we are performing an operation addition on these two operands. Now, let us store the result of this addition in a variable. Let us declare another variable int sum and let's store the variable values like sum is equal to num1 plus num2. So sum will hold the addition result of num1 and num2. Now this entire statement where we have a variable sum and num1 num2 operands and plus as an operator, this entire statement is called an expression. So we can define an expression as a combination of variables, values and operators. One point to note over here is that an expression should be evaluated to produce some value. In our example, num1 is 10, num2 is 20. So it is producing the value 10 plus 20 is equal to 30. Now let's check how we can print the value of some variable. For this, we need to write system.out.println statement, and in that statement we have to write within brackets at the variable sum and end the statement with semicolon. So this will print the value of sum. Let's save and execute our code and check the console. So we can see we are getting the result as 30, which is 10 plus 20. So this is how we work with operator. An operator works on operands by performing some operation. Now in Java, there are multiple operators and we can divide these operators into different operator groups. Let's check those operator groups. So we have arithmetic operators, assignment operators, comparison operators, logical operators, bitwise operators, and ternary operators in Java. After learning about operators, operands, and expressions, in the next video, we will learn about each of these operator groups in detail. So stay tuned. Hello and welcome back. In this video, we are going to explore the different arithmetic operators in Java. First of all, let us check what are arithmetic operators. So these operators are used to perform some common mathematical operations like we do in everyday mathematics: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Now in the previous video, we have already checked that how we can use a plus operator to add to variables. Similarly, we have other three operations: subtraction, for which the symbol minus is used; multiplication, for which the symbol asterisk is used; division, for which the symbol slash is used. Now, let us move back to IDE and check all these three operations with the help of same example. Carry out the subtraction, let us first take another variable int sub. Then let's try to store the result of subtraction. Sub is equals to num1 minus num2. Let's try to print its value. So here we will write down within brackets sub. Let's execute the code. Now just check the console. 30 was our previous addition result. Here num1 is 10, num2 is 20. So if you will subtract both the values, it will come out to be minus 10. This is what we are getting. Next, let's try to do the division multiplication first. Int mul is the variable I am taking. So mul is equals to num1 and asterisk symbol is used for multiplication num2. And let's try to print the result again. So here I am writing mul, which is the multiplication variable. And let's execute the code again. So you can see we are getting the result 200. This is what the expected result is because 10 multiplied by 20 is 200. Now let's try to do the division. So int div is something what I am taking here. Now let's take div is equals to num2 slash num1. Now here again I am printing the result. So let's do it div and execute the code. So I am dividing num2 by num1. So num2 is 20. So 20 slash 10. Slash is the symbol for division. It comes out to be 2. So this is how we have seen that we can carry out all the basic mathematical operations. But in Java, other than these basic operations, we have other mathematical or arithmetic operators. Let's check them out. So these operators are modulus, for which percentage symbol is used, increment, for which plus plus symbol is used, decrement, for which minus minus symbol is used. First of all, what is modulus operator? This operator returns remainder of the division. Now, how it is different from the division? In division, you get the quotient. But when you will do the modulus operation, you will get the remainder of the division that is happening. Let's check it out again with the help of an example. Now, let's say we have num1 is equals to 102 here, num2 is 20, and we are trying to do the division. And let's execute the code. So we can see the result is 5 because if you will divide 102 by 20, you will get the quotient as 5. Now I am taking another variable int mod, carry out the modulus operation. Mod will be equal to num1, percentage symbol will be used, num2. And let's try to print the result. So as I told you that this will give you the remainder of the division. Okay. So now we'll do what? We'll execute the code and then we will see here the result is 2 because if you will divide 102 by 20, it will be 25 is 100 and remainder will be 2. So we are getting the remainder as 2. That is the difference between this mod symbol and this division symbol. Now apart from this, we have other two operators as well, which are increment and decrement operators. Let's check them out what these operators are for. So the increment operator increases the value of a variable by 1. Decrement operator decreases the value of a variable by 1. Again, we will take another example and we will check both these operations. Now let us consider this variable intx and assign value 50 to it. And then after this, I am just trying to carry out the plus plus operation. So plus plus x. And let's try to print the value of x now. Let's print its value. And then we will execute the code and we will check the result. So it is 51. Initially the value was assigned as 50. Then we carried out the plus plus x operation, which means that it will increase the value of x by 1. Hence we are getting the result as 51. Now if we will decrease, if we will use the decrement operator minus minus x. Let's print the value again. Now if we will print the value of x again, execute the code. So you will see now the value of x is printed as 50. 51 was from this particular statement. From this statement, we are getting the result as 50. So this means minus minus x has decremented the value of x by 1. So this is how we can see that the increment and decrement operators work by increasing or decreasing the values by 1. Now in the next video, we will explore the another group of operators, which is assignment operators. Hello and welcome back. In this video, we are going to learn about the assignment operators. So an assignment operator is a simple operator which assigns some value to the variable. Assignment operator is an equal to operator which actually assigns the value to the variable. In our previous video, we have already seen many examples where we declared num1, num2, x and assigned values to them using an equal to operator. Apart from this equal to operator, we have compound assignment operators as well in Java. Now let us understand what are these compound assignment operators. So these operators are a combination of basic arithmetic operators and assignment operator. As we can see on the screen, these are compound assignment operators which are plus equal to a combination of arithmetic operator plus and assignment operator equal to. Similarly, minus equal to, asterisk equal to and slash equal to. So the purpose of the first operator, that is plus equal to, is addition, and correspondingly for the next ones subtraction, multiplication and division. Now let us understand how we can use this operator. So let's consider plus equal to operator. So here we can see we have to write it like this: num1 plus equal to num2. Now how this is interpreted? This will be interpreted as num1 plus num2 will be added. So here we have variables num1, num2, they will be added. And finally the result of addition will get stored in the first variable that we have used, that is num1. So num1 will be equal to num1 plus num2. Similarly for the other compound assignment operators. Now let us check these compound assignment operator examples in IDE. Let us consider again the same variables num1 and num2 with values 10 and 20. Now let us combine them using the first compound assignment operators, that is plus equal to. So we have to write the statement as num1 plus equal to num2. And now let's try to print the value of num1 and check the result first. So if we'll try to print the value of num1 and let's execute the code and check the result in console. So it is printing the value as 30. So we have used plus equal to operator. How this operator is working? So it is working num1 will be equal to num1, which in our case is what? 10, plus num2 value, which in our case is 20. So 10 plus 20 results out to be 30, and this 30 is assigned to the variable num1. On a similar manner, we can use another assignment operators, compound assignment operators. Let's use multiply equal to. So we can write num1 multiply equal to num2, and then if we'll try to print the result of num1 again, so here we'll add up the print statement and let's execute our code. So we can see it is giving the result as 600. So again, what is happening? First is num1 is 10 and it is multiplied. Num1 is already changed to 30. If we check from this statement, it has already been updated to 30. So it will not take 10, it will take 30 now. And it will be multiplied with num2, which is 20. And the result is equal to 600. And this result will get stored in num1. And num1 has been updated now to 600. So that is why we are getting the result as 600. So similarly, we can use other assignment, compound assignment operators, which are minus equal to, division equal to. So this is how we work with compound assignment operators, and these operators are also known as shorthand assignment operators. So we call them shorthand assignment operators because they provide a shorter way of writing an expression which is involving some arithmetic operation and assignment as well. After this, in the next video, we will learn about the comparison operators in Java. Hello and welcome back. In this video, we are going to learn about the comparison operators. So comparison operators are used to compare two values or two variables. As we can see on the screen, in Java, there are 6 different comparison operators, which are equal, not equal, less than or equal, greater than or equal. Now, the first comparison operator is equal operator, which is represented using double equal to sign. This operator compares whether two values are equal or not. The result of this operator is always either true or false. In other words, we can say that this operator is giving us a Boolean result. Let us continue with our example where we have defined two variables num1 and num2, and let us try to compare those two values. To make the comparison, we have to write the code statement as num1 double equal to num2. Now, since it will give a Boolean result, let us store that in a Boolean type of a variable. Let us declare a Boolean variable, Boolean. Let's name it result only. And here, this we are going to store in a result variable. Result is equals to, let's keep this num1 double equal to num2 in a bracket. And this is how. Now, let us try to print the value of result using println statement, and here we are going to write result. Let us execute the code and check the result. Now, as you can see in console, it is giving false. Since we have made the comparison of equality, so it is checking the equality of num1 and num2 variables. And as we can already see, num1 is 10, num2 is 20, and they are not equal. Hence, we are getting the result as false. Next operator is not equal to operator, whose symbol is exclamatory sign and equal to. Now let us check for the inequality of this num1 and num2 variables using the not equal to operator. So we will write the code as result is equal to, and here we will write num1 not equal to num2. Let's try to print the result this time, and here we will print the result. Let's execute the code once again, and let's check the result in console. So we are getting the result as true. Since num1 and num2 are not equal to each other. So this is what not equal to operator is checking. It is checking the inequality of the two variables. After that, the other comparison operators that we have is less than, less than equal to, and greater than equal to. All these operators are very similar to the operators that we have already studied in mathematics and we are already aware of. If we talk about less than operator, it will compare whether the first value is less than the second value or not, and accordingly it will give the true or false result. Let us check this one. So we are writing result is equal to num1 less than num2. And let's try to print the value of result again. So we will write result again in the bracket. Let's execute the code, and here you will see the value is true because num1 is 10, num2 is 20, 10 is less than 20. So we are getting the result as true. Similarly, we can check for greater than operator, which will check whether the first value is greater than the second value or not. Next operator is less than equal to, which is a combination of less than and equal to. So basically this operator will check the less than condition as well as the equality condition. So here if we will modify the statement num1 less than equal to num2, and let's try to update the value of num1 as 20 and check the result again. Let's execute the code once again. So from the third statement, this statement, we are getting the result as true. Since we have updated the value of num1 to 20, num2 is already 20, so it is checking the equality as well. On a similar basis, the greater than equal to operator works. So these were all the 6 comparison operators that are mostly used in Java, and benefit of using these comparison operators is in decision making. We will see more usage of these operators in the upcoming videos when we will learn about conditional and looping statements. In the next video, we will learn about the next group of operators, that is logical operators. So stay tuned. Hello and welcome back. In this video, we are going to learn about the logical operators. Let us first understand what are logical operators. So these operators are used to check whether an expression or combination of expression is true or false. There are three logical operators in Java, which are logical and, logical or, and logical not. Let us explore each of these one by one. First one is a logical AND. It is denoted by the two ampersand symbol. Logical AND combines two expressions using this operator. Now, how it evaluates the result that is shown in this particular table. We have two expressions, expression 1, expression 2, and they can be combined using this logical AND operator. Now, if expression 1 is false, expression 2 is also false, we get the result as false. If first one is true, second is false, we get the result as false. Similarly, if first one is false and second one is true, we get the result as false. But if both the expressions are true, then we get the result of logical AND as true. So this implies that we will get a true result only if both the expressions are true, and we will get the result as false if any one expression is false. Let us move to IDE and check the example for the same. Let us consider our variables num1 and num2 with values 10 and 20, x and y variables with values 50 and 100. Let us say we have the first expression where we are checking num1 is greater than num2 or not. Then we have another expression where we are checking x variable is greater than y or not. So these are two expressions. Let us combine them using logical AND operator. So this is how we can use a logical AND operator to combine two expressions. Let us end this with semicolon. So as we have seen in the table that it will give a boolean result. So let us store that in a boolean type of variable. So we will take boolean, and let's say we are taking the variable name as result and we are writing down is equal to this. So this is how we have created a boolean variable, and this is your expression 1, this is your expression 2, and we are combining it using a logical AND operator. Now as per the values, 10 is greater than 20 if we talk about expression 1, which will false. So here in this case, expression 1 will be false. And what about expression 2 now? X is 50, y is 100. So in this case, expression 2 also will be false. So basically the condition turns out to be false, logical and false. So as per the table, the result of boolean variable result should be false because both the conditions are false. Now let's try to print the variable result and let's try to see that how it gives us the result, and let's execute the code and check the result. So as expected, we are getting false in console because both the conditions are false. Now if I change the condition num1 greater than num2 to num1 less than num2. Now num1 less than num2 will be true because 10 is less than 20. So this condition becomes true. But the next condition is still false. Let us execute it again and check the result. So we are getting still false because one condition is again false. Let us modify this condition as well and check x less than y. Now first expression is true, second expression is also true since x is less than y, which is 50 is less than 100. So both expressions have become true now. So we should get a true result. Let's execute the code again. So we are getting the result as true. This is how logical AND operator works. Now let's move and check the next operator. So this next operator is logical OR operator, and in this operator we use two pipeline symbols and it will take two expressions and combine them using OR condition. So this is the table for logical OR operator. As we can see on the screen here, if any one condition is true or any one expression is true, then we are getting the result as true. And if both the expressions are false, only then we are getting the result as false. So this is how logical OR operator gives the result. Let's move to IDE and check the example for the same. Now, using the same example, let's say this time we want to combine the conditions using OR operator. So let's copy this one and let's paste it here. And here we will be using logical OR operator. We will be combining them using OR. Now here, let's name the variable as result1. So here num1 less than num2, this is true. This is true, and we have combined them using logical OR. And what about num x less than y? So this is again true. So since both the conditions are true, we will get the result also as true if we'll try to print the result. So let's try to print the result and execute the code. And here we'll make it result 1. And if we execute the code from the second statement, we are getting the result as true since both expressions are true. Let's make one of the expression as false. Let's say here we are writing num1 greater than num2. Now in this case, the first expression is false because num1 is not greater than num2. So this becomes false. So we are testing the combination of false, logical or true. So let's execute the code this time and we can see it is still giving the true result. So this is because it is logical OR. And in logical OR, if any one condition or expression is true, it will still give the true result, and it will give the false result only when both the expressions are false. Let us now move to the third logical operator. The third logical operator is logical NOT, which is again denoted by the exclamatory sign. So this operator takes only one expression and it returns the negation of the expression. So if the expression is false, it will return the result as true. If the expression is true, it will return the result as false. Again, let's check with example. So let's take only just one condition about num1 and num2, and let's say that we are just make the variable result 2. Let's say we will be using a logical NOT operator over here, and this is our condition num1 and num2. So num1 greater than num2. If we check the result, this is false because num1 is not greater than num2. So we are checking negation false, and since it negates the value, so negation false should give you the true result. So if we'll try to print out the value of result true, then let's say that here we have result 2 and let's say we are executing the code. The third statement we are getting the result as true. Since num1 greater than num2 is false, we negated it using logical NOT and it is giving the true result. Similarly, if the expression results out to be true, it will negate it to false. So this is how the logic works in case of logical operators. Now, as we can see over here, all the logical operators are generating Boolean results just like we have seen in the video of comparison operators. Since all the logical operators generate Boolean result, they are also used in decision making. Now, how they are used in decision making, this we will see in the upcoming videos when we will learn about the topic conditional statements and looping statements. After this, in the next video, we will learn about the bitwise operators. Hello and welcome back. In this video, we are going to learn about bitwise operators. First thing we need to understand about bitwise operators is that they works on bits. Now, what do we mean by a bit over here? Bit is which can be either 1 or 0. Every number can be represented in the form of bits. For example, if we have a value a is equal to 5, can be represented in the form of bits as 0101. Now, if you are thinking how 5 can be written as 0101. So this process is called decimal to binary conversion, where 5 is just a normal decimal number and 0101 is in the form of bits, which is called as binary number. You can find a text chapter just after this video where you will be able to learn that how a decimal to binary conversion works. Now, we have different bitwise operators in Java, so let us explore all these operators one by one. The first one is So bitwise OR is the first operator where it is denoted by this pipeline symbol. Now it will make the OR operation bit by bit. Let's check its table. So this is the table where bitwise OR operator is there. So we have two bits. One bit is denoted by, let's say, X, another bit is denoted by, let's say, Y, and this is X or Y, which is denoted by this pipeline symbol. So these are the four possible combinations of X and Y bits. Either both can be 0, or they can be 0, 1, or they can be 1, 0, or they can be 1, 1. Let's understand how the resultant bit is achieved. So first, if both bits are 0, we are doing a bitwise OR operation. So the resultant bit is what? It is 0. If it is 0, 1, this means Y bit is 1, the resultant bit is 1. If X bit is 1 and Y is 0, again the resultant bit is 1. If both the bits are 1, the resultant bit is 1. So we can conclude that if both the bits are 0, we will get the resultant bit as 0. But if any one bit is 1, we get the resultant bit as 1. And if both bits are 1, so we will get the resultant bit as 1. So this is how bitwise OR operation works. The second bitwise operator is bitwise AND. It is denoted by this ampersand symbol. Let us again check the truth table for bitwise AND. So this is the table. Here again we have similar combinations. Now here, first if both bits are 0, we are getting 0. If X is 0, Y is 1, we are again getting 0. And similarly, if X is 1, Y is 0, we are again getting the resultant bit as 0. And finally, if both the bits are 1, we are getting the resultant bit as 1. So we can conclude that in bitwise AND operation, X bitwise AND Y, we will get the resultant bit as 0 if even any one bit is 0, and if both bits are 0, definitely 0. But we will get the resultant bit as 1 only if both the corresponding bits of X and Y are 1. So this is how the bitwise AND operator works. Next, let's check the next operator, which is bitwise exclusive OR, and it is denoted by this exponent symbol. Let's check the table for this one. So here again, if we have X exclusive or Y, if both bits X and Y are same, that they are 0, 0 or they are 1, 1, we are getting the resultant bit as 0. Now, if both the bits are different, so here X is 0, Y is 1, and here X is 1 and Y is 0. So we are getting the resultant bit as 1. So this means we can conclude that exclusive OR will give the result as 1 if both the bits are different, and it will give the result 0 if both the bits are same. Let's check the next operator, that is bitwise complement. Bitwise complement just returns the negation, and it is represented by the tilde symbol. It just changes the 0 bit to 1 and 1 bit to 0. Let us say if we have A is equals to 0, 1, 0, 1 in binary, and if we will do complement of A, this is how we write tilde A. So it will become 1, 0, 1, 0. So since this 1 will be changed to 0, 0 will be changed to 1, 1 will be changed to 0, and 0 will be changed to 1. Hence we are getting the result as 1, 0, 1, 0. So this is how different bitwise operators manipulate bits in Java. After learning the bitwise operators, in the next video we are going to explore the ternary operator. Hello and welcome back. In this video, we are going to explore ternary operators in Java. Now, the symbol used for the ternary operator is question mark colon. The word ternary here signifies that this operator consists of three operands. As we can see on the screen, first one is the condition. The second part is the expression 1, which will give us a value that should be assigned in case the condition is true. The third part is another expression which will give us a value that should be assigned in case the condition is false. Let us understand its execution more clearly with the help of a flowchart. So first of all, condition will be evaluated. If the condition is true, then result of expression 1 is assigned to the variable. If the condition is false, then the result of expression 2 is assigned to the variable. Let us move to Eclipse IDE and see an example where we create two variables and try to find the larger number out of those two variables using ternary operator. Let us create the two variables int num1 with a value 50, another variable int num2 and give it a value 60. Now, if we want to find a larger number out of these two numbers, so we have to write the ternary operator as, we need to write the condition first, which is num1 greater than num2. If the condition is true, then we have to assign the expression is num1 here in this case. In case the condition is false, we need to assign the expression which is num2. So here we will be storing the result in a particular variable. Let's take another variable int result, and we will store the result of this entire statement in the result variable. So we will write result is equal to, now here num1 greater than num2 is the condition. After question mark we have written num1, which is corresponding to the first expression. So if this condition is true, then the num1 value will be assigned to the result variable. If this condition is false, then num2 value will be assigned to the result variable. Let us execute the code and check the result. For this, we also need to write a print statement, print the result. So let's write a print statement to print the result. So here we will write result. Now we will execute the code and we can see it is printing 60, which is the value of num2. Now here when the condition is checked as num1 is not greater than num2, condition becomes false. So num2 is assigned. Let us now change the value of num2 and make it 70 and execute the code once again. So if we will execute the code once again, we can see it is printing in result as 70, which is the value of num1. So here num1 is printed since the condition becomes true, and then num1 value is assigned to the result. This is how ternary operator works in Java, and it takes three operands. First is condition, next is expression 1 which is evaluated after the true result, and expression 2 which is evaluated after the false result. In the next video, we will learn about typecasting and conversion. So stay tuned. Hello and welcome back. In this video, we are going to understand typecasting in Java programming. Typecasting is a concept where we convert value from one data type to another data type. It is of two types, implicit typecasting and explicit typecasting. Let us understand this with the help of an analogy. For this, we'll consider that we have a double type class and an integer type class, which is smaller in size than double type class. And I'm expecting that by now you know what these two types are. Now, as per the size, integer class can be easily fitted inside the double type class if we try to do so. We do not have to do this forcefully. This is called implicit typecasting, which means that compiler does this automatically. Whenever there is a need to convert the smaller data type variable into a larger data type variable. By smaller data type, we mean one that requires a lesser amount of memory, which is integer in this case. But what if we need to do this the opposite way? That is, we are trying to fit the double type class inside the integer type class. As we can see, it cannot be fitted easily due to its bigger size. And if we need to do so, we have to do it forcefully. This is called explicit typecasting. In explicit typecasting, since the entire double class cannot be fitted inside the integer one, so it will lose some data. Similarly, when we explicit typecast a double type variable into an integer type variable, we will lose some data, that is, the decimal points will be lost. Let us move to Eclipse IDE and check it practically. First, we will implement implicit conversion. So we will do the implicit conversion. For this, we are taking a variable of integer type. Let us take a variable name as radius and assign the value 500 to it. Let us take another variable of double data type and give it a name new radius and assign the integer variable radius to it. So we will write radius over here. Now, let us try to print the value of this double type, which is new radius. So here we will write the print statement and inside that we will write new radius. Let us execute the code and check the result. So you can see over here that it has given the output as 500.0. So this is of double type. So we were trying to assign an integer type value to a double type variable. So this is called implicit type conversion and the compiler does it automatically without any error. Now let us check the another one, that is explicit type conversion. For this we will create another variable of double type double and let's name the variable as diameter. And let us say we are assigning the value 800.25 to this variable. Now we will take another variable of integer type and give it a name new diameter, and we are trying to assign the value which is of double type, that is diameter, to it. So let us assign diameter. Now let's try to print the value for this one. For this one, what we have to write? We have to write again the print statement and we are just trying to print the value new diameter. So you can see over here already that it is giving the error. It is in red line. So compiler is giving the error, that is it is saying cannot convert from double to int. So this is what is happening when we are trying to convert from a larger data type to a smaller data type. Implicitly, this type of casting does not happen. So how we can do it? We can do it by specifically using the typecast, that is explicitly using the typecast. We can write here as within round brackets int. Now the error is gone. So we have explicitly typecast the diameter variable to integer before assigning to new diameter. So this is called explicit typecasting and we are forcefully converting the data to a different type. Let's try to execute the code and check the result now. So we can see the result that is printed from this particular statement is 800. Now the original value of diameter was 800.25 and for new diameter we are getting the result as 800. So we lose the data, that is 0.25 is lost. This is what happened in case of explicit typecasting. Now that we have understood both explicit and implicit type conversion, let us have a look of the order of smaller to bigger data types. From this figure, we can easily understand that smaller data types can be fitted into bigger data types by implicit conversion, and for which data types we have to typecast so that we can convert them to smaller data types. Now, this brings us to the end of the first topic. Congratulations on completing the topic of Java Basics. In the next video, we will start learning about the control statements in Java. So, stay tuned.